Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 5 of the first test of the third innings. I'm your host, Varun and I'm joined by Shayan Ahmed Khan as usual. So, England have chased down 371 runs versus India. This is twice in a row Bazball England have chased down a big total versus India. In England, that is, not
Yep.
in India, of course. So, initial thoughts, dude.
I mean, see, yesterday I said that I think India will win this test match because they have put runs on the board, and I still thought that 371 is a lot to defend, and I felt that they should be able to do it comfortably, especially with Bumrah on their side, and maybe if one other player steps up with him and something, like it didn't seem impossible to me, and especially when they were bowling in that first session. I thought that this is game on, even though they didn't pick up any wickets in that first hour. It felt that something could happen in this test match, but then after a point, dude, like after the first session, I thought it could be a draw because there was still a lot of runs to make in those two sessions. Somehow, though, India have managed to concede all of those runs and they haven't really picked up a lot of wickets. Even though starting from the last, I think in the last session they picked up what 4 wickets, and then in this session they got the wicket of Ben Stokes. But this was a bit of a disappointing loss, I would say, for India.
Yeah, it's the one good thing is the last time we only took 3 wickets and we took 5 today, and none from Bumrah.
I thought the same thing. Yeah,
Yeah, which is which is progress. I would say progress.
some progress
It-
because
some
last
progress.
time,
Yeah,
yeah, last time it was Bumrah who had taken all the 3 wickets, right? If I'm, oh no, there
yeah.
was one run out as well, I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
there was one run out. Yes, no one else
yeah,
took a
yeah,
wicket,
yeah.
right? Yeah, so it's.
Correct.
I never thought I would say this sentence, but I do think Bumrah led the team down in this innings by not getting
I
any
mean,
wickets.
I would say that everybody is allowed a failure or two, and like
Yeah,
it's not that he
agreed.
was objectively bowling badly or anything. I think in that first hour, him and Siraj actually bowled really well, and it didn't really seem that he was like not bowling well. But yeah, he didn't get the wickets today. I think that happens sometimes, and for that we have to just give a lot of credit to the English openers who really set up this chase. They added
Mhm.
188 runs for the first wicket. What were your thoughts on Zach Crawley to begin with? Because there's a lot of pressure on his place.
Yeah, Zach Crowley played a very uncrawley like innings today.
Exactly.
Like I was like,
The
that
Zach
hurt
Crawley
me the
meme
most.
account
That hurt
was
me the
just
most because
celebrating
I was
today, dude.
I could not believe what I was seeing there. I was like, if India lost this match and his strike rate was less than 50, that would have hurt me. But the moment his strike rate went up over 50, he got out. So I'm like, okay, that's good. I'll take it. I'll take it. This is
Correct,
good.
correct.
Like this is probably the most control I've seen Zach Crowley bat in a long time. Like if you remember his 180 odd versus Australia, he was inside edging
Hmm.
everything. So this didn't feel like that. It was much more control. His technique was technically much more sound in this innings, as Sky was
Although,
pointing out. Like how his bat was coming down straight instead of like angled, like he
hmm,
was in the first inning. So he didn't, he didn't seem as troubled. And Duckett was brilliant. We have to talk about Ben Duckett, don't we?
we
Like
have to
it's
talk
his
about
day.
Ben
It's
Duckett
his
now.
innings. It's his innings.
Exactly. And so I think when we talk about Ben Duckett, I think the defining matchup was really how well he plays Ravindra Jadeja, right? He scores
Hmm.
38 of 38 against Jadeja, and the way he
Yep.
kept sweeping him and like all those shots, I think he never really lets Jadeja settle. And I think this is something that Atherton was also talking about towards the end of the innings, that did Jadeja get his line right a bit too late, especially for an experienced spinner like him who has already played in England before. And it's not that this is a young spinner that we're talking about, right? And and then later on, I think he starts getting some help when he was bowling in the rough, and he got the wicket of Stokes. So he looked quite threatening for like the small period, I think. But by that time, England didn't really have to make a lot of runs at that point.
I
So
will talk about Jadeja in a bit, but let's praise Ben Duckett for now. I
of
think.
course,
Like
no. I'm just
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that
Yeah,
matchup.
yeah. So like he just kept spamming reverse sweep like it was like in a cricket 24 game. Like one of
Exactly,
the
exactly.
comments I saw like online was the perfect way to summarize this, which was that this felt like an AI run chase in cricket 24. That seems impossible, but AI do it really easily. I don't know if you play it a lot, but there'll be times where they're like they
No,
need
no. I have not played it.
550 or something, right? And they could be 100 for 8 and AI would still chase it. Like the AI for that is correct. That's what this game felt like to me. Where I was like,
True, true, true.
they did it so easily, like to the point where I was like, "Okay, are they actually going to lose this by 10 wickets?"
Yeah,
Right?
it
And if
didn't actually
yeah,
look very like. And even Jared was like, okay, it's a big chase. Anything can happen in a big. Like he was basically saying that there is a point in a run chase where it feels like it's an inevitable run chase, right? Especially in all these long chases. But I think India did recover a bit. They started taking a few wickets, and two of those wickets by Shardul Thakur, right, who eventually gets Ben Duckett out. But then we also have to talk about what what Ben Duckett's strike rate was against each of these bowlers. Sorry, I'm losing my words a bit. I'm just saying that
No worries. But take
against
your
Prasid
time.
he strikes at 122.
No,
Against Siraj he strikes at 76. Against Shardul he's at 69 from 13 balls, and Bumrah 32 runs for 49 balls. So I think if he's able to nullify India's best bowler that well, and of course we were thinking that Jadeja was going to be really crucial in this last innings. Speaking of, like, if he's able to nullify two of their most important possible threats on this final day of play, because I think even though Prasid did pick up wickets in this test match, he's still a work in progress in test match cricket. And we know that even though he is taking wickets, his economy is really, really high, has been for most of the games that he has so far played in his short test career. And apart from that, like, it was just, he was rotating strikes so easily, dude. Like, he wasn't playing dot balls. Did you also observe that?
yeah. I just thought like I do think they let him get off strike too easily at times, but then it's one of those things where I'm like, that might just be a difference of opinion thing where you're like as I said, like a fan and former cricketer or commentator thinks they're more aggressive than they were. Like everyone likes
Yeah,
the aggressive play, like all the fielders inside, right?
true. And then if it goes for a four, then people will be like, okay, what is this field setting again? I know that happens a lot in cricket. So, but
Yes,
then
yes.
he gets what 22 boundaries and he still makes 149 runs. So, I think his non-boundary strike rate was also pretty solid. I think someone brings this up that he has now been really good across all three formats in cricket, and at this point, we have to give him a lot of credit because they have pulled off a great chase. And this one is Ben Duckett's game, right?
Like, is he on
Where,
form
where
the
does this
best all
rank
formats as
amongst his
batter?
best now?
Would you say?
Sorry.
Would you say on current form is he the best all formats as batter? Because we've seen Travis Head take a bit of a regression in Test cricket, right?
A bit, I would say, but I think I would probably
Mm-hmm.
still go Travis Head at the moment, just because
I
when
think
I
that's
wrote
fair.
that piece on Travis Head, he still goes on to have a good Border Gavaskar trophy after that, and I don't think he's done much wrong since to remove him from that position. And I think, yeah, Ben Duckett has also been really, really solid. He made that one big 165 against Australia as well in the Champions Trophy, didn't he?
Yes. So, like, you were asking about where does this rank for Ben Duckett's knocks, you were saying, right? If I remember
Yeah,
correctly. Yeah, I'd have like he has 100 in Pakistan in the third test on an absolute turner where he goes at
correct.
nearly runnable. I'd say that's probably his best 100. Like this,
Yeah.
like I'd still think this is like close behind, like you would say, right?
That Rajkot turn was also pretty special, wasn't
The
it? Because
Rajkot
it
was
came
pretty
away
good,
from
I
home.
think.
Yeah.
Rajkot was,
And
but
although,
yeah, I like the Pakistan one because that was a proper turner, whereas Rajkot was
agreed.
helpful for the batters.
Yeah,
Multan was the one I
no
was
doubt.
thinking of.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
I think someone brings up that Ben Duckett averages 55 against Bumrah with a strike rate of 65.
That is
Wow.
impressive, yeah. That is
Yeah, that
impressive.
is special stuff. We have to give him a lot of credit for that.
Yes, agreed. Oh yeah, by the way, I did forget to mention this at the start. Jared and Bahram will be going live after this, so we'll just be covering today. So they'll be reviewing the whole test match. So
Yeah.
just to let you guys know how shit are India. But so let's just I think we can talk about like Joe Root gets a 50. I'm not saying it doesn't matter,
Regulation
but
half
I'm like
century.
it's like the game was
No,
done
it
by
does
that point,
matter,
right?
dude.
Like
He does
I'm
deserve
not
a
gonna
lot
say
of credit.
it does matter, but like yeah, he just a 50, isn't it? Like I'm like I barely remember the 50. That's what I'm saying.
I get it. Because, I mean, by that time, of course, England had put up a good foundation for Joe Root and the rest of the
Yeah.
batters to,
Also,
come
it's
back and.
very, I'd say, unfortunate for India that Stokes, who makes negative runs versus India and England, I decided today was the day he'd make a 30 plus score.
Yeah.
Right. I think that partnership was very important.
I agree. Yeah, definitely. That was also a crucial partnership after that opening stand.
Have we covered
And
all the
India managed to
batters
get
now?
all.
Yeah. Sorry, you were saying?
I was saying that was a pretty important partnership in context of that
Mm-hmm.
fourth innings run chase after that opening stand.
Yeah, definitely. Because it was like, I wouldn't say it was a tricky situation, but like they needed a partnership, right? That's what I was saying. I was saying on the group as well, like they're 150-run partnership away from winning this, and that was pretty
And that
much the
was the
50-run
partnership.
partnership that sealed it,
Exactly.
right?
I agree.
Dear surely Stokes has the I was with one thing I was mentioning that does it not make sense for Stokes to bat at 7 below Jamie Smith in this team? Like would
It
we
is
say
an
he's a better
interesting
test
debate.
batter than Smith at this point?
At the moment, I mean, James Smith is looking really solid, right? He's had quite the start to his Test career since that last summer, and he's consistently making runs now. So I think I do see merit in that, and especially if Stokes is going to bowl more, there might be even more logic to that argument. And if India bring in Kuldeep for the next game or like another spinner, who knows? It might make sense for him to step back a little and maybe give Jamie Smith that number 6 position.
Yeah, I think let's come to India's bowling today. So I thought India starts it very well. Bumrah looked unplayable at the start. To the Duckett, how Ben Duckett survived those two deliveries, still don't understand. Like one of those
True,
balls,
true.
I think was too unplayable. Like there was one ball we just swung so much. Like Panther, I think just didn't expect it to swing as much as they did.
I agree.
Yeah,
And even
and
Siraj
then
was bowling really well in that
Siraj,
first spell, right?
I actually think Siraj bowled really well in this innings. Like he's probably India's best bowler, was
Absolutely.
he not?
I
Like I
think
think
if
he
you look
bowled
at
better than
like,
Bumrah
yeah, I
in
think
this
in this
innings.
innings actually Siraj was bowling really well, and he even creates a chance, right? Although it was a bit of a tough catch for Jaiswal, wouldn't you say? Oh, was
No,
that
I think it was
regulation? What would you think?
like I don't think it was
It was
regulation.
tough,
It's
I
like
thought.
you expect them to take it. I think that's the way I would say it. Like I think
Mm,
by modern standards, I would expect some people to take it.
yeah. So Abhijit says
Yeah.
that he thinks Siraj was underbowled.
I don't like I didn't know like what was his fitness like. That's what I was wondering. I think.
Yeah, because if especially with Bumrah not playing all the Test matches, I think there has to be an element of him also not over bowling. So he bowls 14 overs in this innings.
I think
It is
that's
a
true.
bit less though, isn't it? It is a little less, I
I
feel.
think I'd have given him one more spell, but like who doesn't bowl? Like maybe I know Shardul takes 2 wickets, but
I know.
like would you not have given Siraj another spell instead of him? But we don't really know how fit he was, like or everything
Yeah,
like that, right? That's something only the
correct.
team will know. That's only something the team can answer. And then
Mm-hmm.
the other bowlers would be like Prasidh Krishna gets 2 wickets. Like he's the one who like kind of puts some life into it, but he
Yeah,
shouldn't be going for more than 6 runs and over. Like he's done it 2 innings in a
yeah.
row now. Like
I
I
agree.
can forgive him going for 4.5 runs and over against Bazball. That's understandable, right? Every
Yeah, 6
bowler
is a
is.
bit much.
6 is insane. Like he wasn't doing that in the IPL in most of some of those games,
He was
right?
bowling even more accurately in the IPL, to be very honest. Like in this, wasn't there a stat that in almost every over he was conceding a boundary in this innings?
I
Like
was
you
checking
cannot
it.
live.
Last time I checked it was like 15 of 21 or something. I stopped after that. It was getting too depressing. Like he was like his ability to concede for boundary every over was almost impressive.
Yeah. So now he has played what 4 Test matches and he's taking 13 wickets. So his strike rate is 41.5. We'll take that, but that economy rate is 5.07.
Yeah, that's not
And
say you'd say that's expensive for a bowler in ODI cricket. Like Shami, I think has similar numbers in ODI cricket, right? Is in terms of econ. Like
true.
that's like Ajit Agarkar in ODI cricket. That was bad. Like, that was a high econ, right?
So Prasidh was at 4.65 in Centurion, 4.62 in Cape Town, 3.96 in that SCG test. Where again in that opening spell, I think although he did like create a few chances and everything in that whole fourth innings, but he went for runs early on, didn't he? Like it seemed like he wasn't controlling the ball as well as he could have with Bumrah not there. And then again it leads, he goes for 6.28. So I
Yeah, I
think
just
that is
don't
not
think he
very
knows.
promising.
Like again, like I don't think he always knows what's his best line and length. Like he accidentally sometimes bowls a great delivery. Like I don't think he means to bowl a great delivery. Like do you get if you get what I mean?
Possibly, like, do you think he bowls a bit too short? As you've been saying before, that you
Mm-hmm.
think probably he should be bowling more in the good length because he can extract that extra bounce because of his height.
Yeah, I think he should be. I don't think he will in this series because it's something that will take him time to develop. It's not you
Yeah,
can't do it.
of course.
You can't do it naturally, right? I think whenever he does bowl in the length, he's quite good. Like even shorts of the length he would take at times, but like sometimes it's just rank deliveries, right? You're like, oh, what are you doing, dude? Like that
Yeah,
times where you're just like, why? Like it's Siraj but worse, like much worse than Siraj, whatever Siraj does, right? Because in Siraj,
yeah,
I was so happy when Siraj bowled 3 good overs in in the morning. I was like,
same.
because I was thinking like, is the odds of like India winning 5-0 the same as Siraj bowling 3 good overs? Turns out it's not true. Okay, thankfully, unfortunately for us. So
Yeah.
so let's take a quick break, and once we're back, we'll be talking about Jadeja.
Cricket boards actually make watching their games almost impossible now. I spend almost as much time trying to find where I can view it as I do actually following the action. That is why I use NordVPN. They let me find all the cricket I want to watch while protecting me from the nasty side of the internet. Nord will free your cricket matches. Grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/good areas to get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan plus 4 additional months on top. It's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Watch every match with NordVPN.
Welcome back to Third Innings. I'm Varun and this is Shayan, and we were talking about Jadeja and how in the Sky commentary were constantly mentioning it, how it took Jadeja way too long to figure out the right line and to just bowl in the rough and get some perches. What did you think about that?
I mean, Duckett plays 7 reverse sweeps against him, if I'm not wrong, by my count. So, like, this is what the Cricket for commentary has to say, and 7 reverse sweeps, and there were a few 4s in there as well. So, Duckett definitely knew how to disrupt things a little bit, and I think we've seen this before as well, right? We talked about how Jadeja and Ashwin, like, from the start of 2024, that batters have started taking more risks against them, and that has actually given them better returns. Even though they are very experienced, they've been very experienced bowlers, great bowlers for India. And do you think he bowled, like, what did you think about his length? Like, were they very off, or like it was mainly just the line?
I think it's in this case with the line was more important because there was this entire section where it was just rough, right? And if he bowled anything in there, length didn't really matter. The ball was spinning. So I do think he didn't get it right, and it's a bit annoying that it took him so long to do it. Like I just think he just has a natural like stump to stump line, and that he just hones in on it. It's very difficult for him to just go either side of it, right?
It's actually even more than 7 reverse sweeps. It's my bad. It's
Yeah,
way
that's
too
what I
many
think-
for me
that's
to
what I
count
was
after a
thinking.
point. Yeah,
That's what I was thinking. I was like, that
No,
can't
no, my
possibly be
bad, my-
right.
yeah. I think there must be 7 just from 4s. If
No,
I'm
I can.
not-
There's 12 from what I can see in the database.
Yeah, even I can see 12 right now. You're right.
Yes,
And
that's 12. Yeah, I
Yeah,
also do
correct.
think he was a bit unlucky at times, Jadeja. Like I think Punt drops a catch off his bowling, from what I remember. I know I think there
At
was
what
one.
point does that drop happen?
Don't even remember which batter it was, if I'm being honest. I think it might have been Rude.
Was it a bit of a half chance, or do you think it was like
It's a. I think it
easiest?
was a bit like the drop he had in the first innings, like similar kind. That's what I remember. Like still don't know if that was an edge or not. Like because the comms just don't talk about it.
And Ben Stokes eventually he does get out reverse sweeping, right? Doesn't he?
Yes. Like it's and that LBW call. I still don't understand how that missed the stumps.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were talking about that one, right? Like,
So when did Leeds become like Waka? Like what was happening there?
I get it.
Yeah, I think Sheraton saying
Absolutely.
that one didn't take that side. It's fair enough then. They just skip over. Everyone's like, did that get the edge? And then no one talks about it. So yeah, like it's so. And the other thing we talked about, Lord Tucker, like he just comes in and takes 2 wickets, possibly the 2 worst wickets I've seen. He was on a hat trick at one point. I'm pretty sure if he
Yeah.
got a hat trick, like something would have exploded in the universe.
Yeah, man. Like he gets wickets of absolute filth, right? Like he bowls a wide half volley and he bowls one down the leg side. That is like pretty much not like if you would look at the expected average for those deliveries, it would be
Like,
really high.
It would be so high. Like Brooks' dismissal. My word. Like I think, would you say it was worse than Sai's first innings dismissal? I think it was.
Yeah, it was worse than that, I think.
Yes. Like
Because at least with Sai,
horrible.
you could give that benefit of doubt to Stokes that Sai was a bit nervy starting off, and he would have wanted those like first runs to get off the mark in Test cricket. I can get that line of argument at least, but this was a pretty bad ball, and he ended up getting a wicket of that.
Also, like, let's just briefly talk about India's fielding. I don't think there were as many drops today, but the ground fielding was terrible. Like Shardul Thakur, I don't know if you remember, there was a time where I think it was a mid-off or mid-on. He misses the ball and he's just lying there, like he's on a picnic, and the ball goes and Jadeja's furious. I was like, I was
And
just laughing
Jadeja was
at the
actually feeling
absurdity.
well.
Yeah, no, Jadeja was the bowler, right? And he was absolutely pissed at Shardul. Like he was just napping there.
I know.
He's like, "What are you doing? Just get up."
No, I said Jadeja was fielding well because I remember him running to save like what seemed like it could be a 3, but they ended up taking just 2 because it was Jadeja in the outfield. So
Like at
I think
least,
there was
like,
one from
I
Karun
think-
Nair as well.
yeah.
One miss from
Yes,
Karun
yes,
Nair.
yes. Yeah. I remember that. Yes. See, the thing is, at least with Shardul's fielding, like that made me laugh. Like the other fieldings made me annoyed. So at least this, I'll give him that, right? Right.
Fair enough.
So
fair
like
enough.
also like finally let's just wrap this up by talking about Shubman Gill's captaincy. What did you think? I thought there were parts where he's decent, but like there's parts where he just got it wrong tactically.
Where do you think he went wrong tactically? I think in the first innings he
Like
underbowled
first thing
Shardul a bit.
Shardul's under bowling. Like
Yeah,
I
that
don't
definitely.
I also think like as Jared said, I just think he's too formulaic with the way he's using bowlers. Like you don't need to use Bumrah for 5-6 over spells. It's fine. Just use him for 3 over spells. Like the way I think like it should have happened much sooner was you bowl Jadeja on the end which isn't helping everyone, like the one with the rough, right?
Yeah.
That end.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you rotate the seamers, right? The
Seamers
one
from- yeah, I think that,
and the other mistake he got tactically was bowling Shardul and Prasidh from both ends. Like you never do that.
Yeah, I agree with
Like
that.
you need Jadeja on
Agreed.
one end to control it. Like he messed that up
Yeah, yeah.
tactically, right?
But don't you think that was possibly an effect of Duckett playing as well as he was against Jadeja? Maybe that played a part in throwing things off a bit.
Yeah, but like it's not like you could say like Prasidh Krishna was more economical than Jadeja, was he? Like all
No,
Shardul
true.
Tucker at that point.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's why I was like, okay, at least Jadeja have semblance of faith in him controlling it. In a way, I just don't with Shardul.
I
or
agree.
Prasidh.
I agree.
Like with them, they'll either take wickets or just go for runs, right? That's how you know that. Like you just know
I
that. I
agree.
do think that's where he got it wrong. Like, but like other than that, I thought he was fine. I didn't really hate. I think there's times where you could argue maybe he had too many fielders outside. Like as Nasa kept pointing out, he's just following the ball, right? At times with the field. So like
Yeah.
I do
And I
think,
think
he
that
could be a
happens with even
proactive.
experienced captains at times.
Yeah, like
doesn't
we
it?
saw how many times we've seen Virat or Rohit do that, right?
Exactly. Even we've seen that even from them. Like even when they were very experienced captains. So I think Shubman Gill is just starting out in his early days. And this is not the sort of loss that I would put down to captaincy simply because
Agreed.
if it was a closer game, I could still understand that, okay, yeah, there might have been things that went wrong, like massive things that made a difference tactically. But here, especially when your best bowler did not take a single wicket, Jadeja looked threatening and like he gets a wicket much later. Siraj bowled really well and he didn't get a wicket. So I think there is a little bit of an element of luck early on. But then after that, it was just the brilliance of the English players.
Also, like
That is the way I see it.
Yeah, the other thing I would ask is, did Shubman want Shardul in the team, or was that a Gambhir decision?
Yeah, because a lot of people are bringing this up in the
Yeah.
comments as well, right? It seems that there is an influence of Gautam Gambhir in this team. Although, in hindsight, it's easy to say it, I think, but you know, I didn't think including Shardul at 8 was a bad move. Like, it probably would have made
I
more
think,
sense to
yeah,
include
if
Kuldeep.
you had to go defensive, that was the right defensive option. I'd rather him at 8 than NKR. That was before this game, of course. Like I'm like, if he's gonna bowl this badly, like you might as well
Or
go
this
Nitish
little-
for the defensive option, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
this
definitely.
little, right? Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like,
Yeah. And now I
so-
think I'm starting to see why he bowled so little. Like,
Yes.
do you think, could we not argue that it was because of, they wouldn't have felt confident about Shardul's bowling, that they didn't give him more bowling? Although they did introduce him a bit too
I could have
late.
told you I
that
wasn't
first innings.
confident about his bowling before the test match. Like I didn't need to see him bowl in the test match.
Although he came in with a good performance in the Ranji Trophy, didn't he?
Yeah,
know
but,
it's different
I mean,
conditions
we
and
know
everything.
like what Shardul does in international test cricket. Like he just I don't think he's international quality in terms of bowling. Right? As harsh as
At
it
the
sounds.
right at the moment or ever? Like, because I think
I
there
never
was a
I was
phase-
never on the Shardul train. Like I just think like he just had an incredible start and he regressed hard to what his median is, to his mean is.
Like, I think definitely Kuldeep would have been a better bowler on this particular in
Abhijit, like
these
I get
particular
your
conditions.
point, but like I don't think I'd say Shardul is defensive in any universe.
Agreed. No, I think
Like he shits attacking is the way I'd put him. Like he shits
yeah, I think
strike.
he does look for wickets. I think he probably bowls a bit too full, bit too short. Sometimes he's like the thing with him is he's not disciplined enough, right? Like he will bowl a few bad balls here and there, and that is very. And I have also noticed this one thing that batters find it quite easy to get off strike against him, and that is something you should not be allowing as a test batter, like as a
Yeah,
test
but
bowler.
again, how
right?
much of that is just Gill just having everyone on the boundary when he's bowling?
I guess fair enough.
Like
but
which
even
came
then you-
first? Which came first? Like is he giving a lot of
Chicken or the
singles
egg?
because of that, or did he get too hit for so many boundaries that Gill just has everyone?
Yeah, that is probably fair. I think.
Right?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
India
I agree with
essentially in this
Rajendra.
test.
I'll say he's sobers at Oval and he's shit everywhere else.
Yeah. He is sober at the Oval. That is absolutely true.
I mean,
And
it
that one
essentially,
test match.
yeah, I think that's fair. Like, as opposed to choosing
No,
someone who's
agree
game
with
over.
that. Yeah.
Okay, fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah. I
Yeah, I
think
think
that
so.
there is some merit in,
Yeah, so
like, in
let's just
hindsight,
answer
you
the
could
super
also
chat. I
say,
think it's like going to help, like a pretty good question for us. What's more worrying moving ahead, batting or bowling? I'd still say bowling because I know everyone's like talking about the collapses. The way I look at it with the collapses, you had 4 useless batters in the tail, right? And then you had 1 or 2 set batters. So I think that's set batter starts at the collapse, and you had 4 of the tail enders, right?
yeah,
The main issue I think in both collapses is Karun Nair.
kind of, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
But although
like he's
Karun
like
just
I
gets a
think
duck in the
if
first innings.
yeah he gets a duck in the first inning. So Shubman starts it in the first innings,
Yeah.
right? And then I forgot who started it in the second inning. So Pant gets out, but there
Pun
isn't a
gets out in the.
collapse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so KL starts the collapse this time, right?
Technically, yeah.
Yes.
Technically, it
So
was
KL
who
starts
started
the collapse, and then Karun immediately gets out soon after. So I think
Yeah.
it's that's the wicket where I'm like, okay, they could have done better, but I'm overall batting, I'm more than happy with it. They made
Same.
500s in this test match. Like Pant was brilliant. Like I think Gill was good. Like he's a bit
Gill
of an
was good.
unfortunate
Jaiswal was
shot.
good. Yeah.
Right.
That's, and even Jaiswal gets a good ball in the second innings.
Yeah,
So I don't
agreed.
think I'd fault the batting
I also
too
think
much.
he might be mentally cooked in the second innings after being roasted.
Yeah, because of all
Rightfully
the
so
drop
after all the
catches.
catching. Like rightfully so.
Yeah.
Like I hope he gets roasted
So
to
at
burn to a
this
crisp on
point,
social media. Like
there's one very simple question. How many catches did Jaiswal drop in this test match? Can
is
you
it
count
4?
that?
Last I checked, it was 4.
4.
Right?
That is a bit like you could argue that India's fielding did play a part in this game, like India not winning this game. Like usually we don't mention, we say that fielding shouldn't be, like, because bowlers create more chances and everything. But I think in this case it was far too significant for us to ignore. And India's fielding in this test match has definitely been an issue. And there is an interesting point regarding the batting as well. So Abhijit says that he wishes India were more ruthless with the bat, and this was something you were also saying, right?
Yeah, like I
You
was
missed the
telling
Indian
you,
batter
right?
stat padding.
Yeah, like I was
Just
like,
get
this
those-
is like such dog shit stat padding by the Indian team. Like you could argue England were terrible as well, like, because how the hell does no one get a double hundred on this pitch?
I know, right?
Right?
Especially
Like,
the way,
that's all- as I said,
I-
this is the pitch you get a double hundred, and 20 years later, I'm defending you, saying how good you were, right? By
exactly
using this innings as an example, right? Like this is the
I agree.
that sort of pitch. Like you get the big scores with the daddy hundreds. You don't get big scores with hundreds, right? Right?
Yeah.
Like you need those double hundreds to get those massive scores.
Yeah.
I was more annoyed with the batters. I didn't care about the collapses. I know people are talking about the collapses. My main worry is because of those collapses, like it might overtake how bad the bowling was.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't say the batting, like, both times I felt like, yeah, they made good enough runs. So I wasn't massively worried
I think
about it.
you could argue that like Karun probably just could have been better in both innings. I think that's probably fair.
Agreed.
Yeah,
And probably
right.
Sai also, you could say.
Like Sai,
Although
like,
second innings Sai was
like,
fine.
here's the thing though, like Sai still scores nearly as many runs as Rohit did in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. So I'll give him that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So I'll give Sai that. So I'm not worried about. The only reason I'm worried about batting is I think England's bowling attack is only going to get better. So the batting will naturally regress. I don't think they'll be shit, right?
Yeah.
But they won't be this good. Will we see another game? Will we see 5 centuries across the next 4 test matches? I don't know from this Indian batters, right?
Yeah.
Let alone a test match.
I know, right? Yeah.
So bowling is definitely the word because I would not play Bumrah in the next test match under no circumstances. He's bowled too many overs in this.
He's bowled a lot of overs, but like, don't you think there is a bit of a big, like, this is what I was thinking. There is an 8-day gap, if I'm not wrong. Would you not argue that, like, if India are 0-2 down and then they bring on Bumrah, maybe they overbowl him even more in the third test? Like, would you rather not that Bumrah rest now?
The way
they give him a chance in the second game.
I think
if India
I would see like just how useless the bowling attack is without him, right? If they lose 2-0, like just send him home. Who cares at that point, right? Like,
Yeah.
like what's the point? Like then you like maybe play him the third and the fourth test, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I'm thinking. Like,
And Shretan also says that the third test is Lord's, so they will play him there. I think, yeah, that is, I think, something Behram was also mentioning, no?
yeah,
That there is
so
a
they're
chance
like
that...
if you play him at Lords, you can't play him in the second test as well, can you? Like,
No, then you can't. If they want to play him at Lord's, then that's not going to happen. Like, he can't play 3 in a row, that is for sure. So
Like,
it's just
it's
about how
such-
you're going to manage it from here.
So yeah, just going back to this, it's like I'm more worried about the bowling because without Bumrah,
100%.
like also like who are the seamers they're going to pick, right? And again, like
Akashdeep?
as I said, I'm worried that because of the batting collapses, Nitish Kumar Reddy will come back at it. I know everyone's like, let's bring back Nitish Reddy. That is still going a step backwards. Like
Agreed.
like you had 5 tests, you had the spiciest pitches that you could have probably ever had in a 5 test series, and he was useless with the ball. What makes people think suddenly Nitish is going to be the best bowler on these flat pitches, right?
Yeah, I think it comes more from the logic that you might as well play more batters, right? Because you just double down on your strengths.
So
You
like I
can't,
could
like,
sense the argument of having him at 6 ahead of Nair now because I have faith in the top 5 now, which I didn't have a few days ago.
Yeah. So now you would argue that maybe Nitish comes in at 6.
Yeah, like maybe who cares? Like try him out. Like he can't be worse than Nair was in this test match, could he?
But
Everyone
I
else
would
could
give
be
Nair
worse.
one more test match for sure.
Yeah, I'd give him one.
Like,
Like
it's just too harsh to drop
I
him after
didn't
one
agree
game.
with Sai 3, Nair 6 at the start, but like now that you have
I
it,
know,
you
I
have to give it time.
Yeah, I'd give it
Yeah.
one more test at least, and if again he doesn't make runs, then I think there is some merit in playing Nitish 6, Jadeja 7, probably Kuldeep 8, and so on.
I just
depending
don't
on
think
whether Bumrah
Jadeja is
playing or not.
number 6. Like I don't think like nah. Like I wouldn't also play Washington Sundar at 8. Like
See-
I'd be tempted to play Kuldeep at 8.
I think there is something interesting to be said about Jadeja at 6, simply because we know that he's not great batting with the tail, right? So maybe him at 6 gives him more responsibility.
Yeah, but I don't think
Don't
he's
you
any
think?
good technically to bat at 6. That's the other
But it's
issue.
number 6, dude. Like, it's still a late entry point, more or less, isn't it? It's number 6. I'm not saying number 5.
Nah, I still don't trust it. That's what I'm worried about with him.
Fair enough. So you
Like,
just
it's-
don't think he's in the 6 best batters.
No, he's not in the 6 best batters. Without like not even close to it. I think like like yeah, like and I've seen people be like, oh, he's clearly in one of India's best batters. I don't know, he's not. Like I know he's made runs at 6, like 7, but he's not in India's best batters. Like it's just the truth, right?
I see the argument. Although I think I do see some merit in Jadeja at 6. I can't
Yeah.
lie about that.
So just I'll ask you a quick question: bowling attack for the next test.
I would say Siraj.
Mm-hmm.
Prasid, they have to persist with him for one more game at least. I would say Akash Deep. Then so that's 3 pacers for you. I'll play Kuldeep. And if Jadeja is there, that's 3 pace and 2 spin. Although the thing with that is maybe a bit short on pace. But I really do think India need to play Kuldeep Yadav, and I don't see how they can drop Jadeja, like, simply because of the balance he offers. Or hear me out, they could play Nitish instead of Jadeja and go 4 specialist fast bowlers. Sorry, and Kuldeep and 3 specialist fast bowlers,
Yeah, I had
which
that.
will
I
be
don't have an
Siraj,
issue with
Prasid,
that.
and Akashdeep.
Yeah, I'm cool with that, right? I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Like I was
think
okay
either
with
of
that
those
option
two
at the
attacks-
start either.
Same. I'm okay with either of those 2 options, like whether they go Kuldeep plus Nitish or they go Jadeja plus Akashdeep.
They can't. I don't think you can go Jadeja and Kuldeep and their Bumrah isn't playing. That's my main worry.
Yeah, that is the thing, right?
Right, that's my
Yeah.
main worry. Like I think it's because there just isn't enough pace bowling. I don't trust any of them, right? Because then you need Prasid and Siraj to be good second and third seamers, and they aren't good second and third seamers at this point.
So, but let's say Jadeja is the lock, right? And we have to
Okay.
pick 4 fast bowlers. Like, India have to pick 4 fast bowlers. Who are those 4
Right.
fast bowlers going to be?
So
for you?
let's say you go Arshdeep and Akashdeep with the new ball, and you have Siraj as first change, and Prasid as the second change.
Arshdeep, Akashdeep, new ball. Siraj, first change. And Prasid,
And-
second change.
Second change, and you have Jadeja with spin.
Yeah, I think I like that. Or the other option that I said, which was Nitish and Kuldeep, instead of Jadeja and that extra seamer.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think I
Rana
can
will
agree with
surely play Gambhir as a hard on for him. He might, like, I wouldn't be surprised. Again, like,
He might be a better bowler than Shardul, no?
Yeah, he's
to be
definitely a
very
better
honest.
bowler than Shardul. Like, without, like, that's not even a question. All right, so I think, so yeah, that's enough, I think, for this podcast. Thank you so much for watching it. We'll be back with the third innings again for the second test match. I don't know who's doing that. It might be me, Baram, and I, or maybe just both of us again. So yeah, like make sure to subscribe to goodareas.co, bookmark it. It's the one-stop shop for good areas and everything, right? Thank you so much for listening to the stream. Like, remember, there's a live with Jared and Baram soon after this, so go follow it. Bye.
Brian Lara used pot plants to work on his placement. John Wright glued his glove to his bat. Sachin Tendulkar dug up practice pitches. to tender Taibu cut the top off his bat. Claire Taylor used a hockey grip. Steve Smith was from tennis. Dean Jones would call phantom runs. And Victor Trumper turned the nets into a war zone to survive. The best batters in the world do whatever they have to make runs. We have told their stories in our new book, The Art of Batting.